This video is sponsored by Uscreen. In 2022, I made over $36,000 in digital product revenue as a content creator, which was more than 10 times the sales that I did in 2021, which was right around $2,900. But here's the crazy part. My digital product sales didn't just skyrocket because all of a sudden I was getting a whole bunch more views or subscribers on my YouTube channel, which is often the case with like case studies like this on YouTube, if we're honest. But to prove that my YouTube growth from 2021 to 2022 was modest at best, here are the numbers. In 2021, I did just about 3 million total views on my channel, and in 2022 I did 3.3 million views. So obviously not a 10x increase. So if audience growth didn't account for this blow up in digital product sales, then what did? That's exactly what I want to talk about in this video. I'm going to share with you some strategies for earning more money with digital product sales as a content creator, even if you don't have a large audience or if your audience isn't growing a lot right now. Doesn't even require you to be an educator if that's not your thing, which you might already be thinking about, like, Katie, what if I don't want to teach something? There's still opportunity for you to make money with digital products. So let's talk about it. Okay, so let's dive into the specific numbers for my digital product sales in 2021 so you can actually see where this money is coming from. Okay, so let's look at last year as a whole. So you can see things started off pretty slow in January and February, slowly building up until we get this massive peak in August and September, which I'll explain more in just a second. And then things kind of drop down to normal in October, November, and December. So let's take a look at this by product. Okay, so this explains the spike in August and September. You can see my biggest sales by far is from the Instagram roadmap, which is my course about Instagram growth and content creation. I know some people wouldn't count their course in their digital products, but that's just kind of the way that I do it. So you can see the course did $17,344 in sales, and I'll be honest with y'all, like, that wasn't what I was aiming for, and I've talked about this before on my channel. Just, I feel like there's a lot of expectations out there around like course launches and how much money you're gonna make as a creator and all this stuff. And I don't think this is a bad result by any means. Obviously, I'm really grateful for how well this did, but it's not quite the same kind of like, oh, make 100K in a weekend kind of narrative that you like hear from some course creator coach types. And also, speaking of digital products, I find it interesting that my course actually doesn't even account for quite half of my total sales. Like the other digital products added up to a little bit more. Anyway, just an interesting observation. The next biggest is my content creator Notion bundle. So this is a bundle of Notion templates that's, you know, helpful for content creators. Then we've got just my Notion content calendar. That's a part of the bundle, but you could also buy it separately. My viral YouTube script template, that's in 2 different parts because I had to remake the product, but anyway. Then we got my YouTube thumbnail presets, my regular Instagram presets, and then the Instagram audit. I was still selling that on my website at the beginning of the year, but now that's shifted over to my creative agency, Creatorly. And then from there we get into smaller stuff that maybe only sold like once. So you can clearly see that like a little less than half of my revenue came from my course, which is a video lesson based course, and then the other like slightly more than half came from pretty much my Notion templates and a few Lightroom presets. Okay, so at this point in the video, you might be rolling your eyes and saying, well, that's great for you, Katie, but what if I'm not an educator? What if I'm not gonna produce a course or sell Notion templates? And I totally get that. You might be watching this video as a content creator whose niche is not focused on educating. Maybe you're just out here trying to make entertaining or inspiring content. I see you. So many tips that are out there about like online business for content creators in general really focuses in on like making a course and how much money you can make off of that, like I was talking about, or selling other like educational products. But I truly believe that you do not have to just default to being an online educator if you feel like that's not for you. There are so many possibilities for monetizing as a content creator that don't have to include selling your knowledge. And I wanted to tell you about one that I think is super cool, and that is Uscreen. Uscreen is the sponsor of this video, and it is an awesome place for creators to start monetizing their content through a video membership platform. If that sounds confusing, don't worry, I promise you already understand what it is. If you've heard of Netflix, that's a video membership program. So here's what that can look like for different creators. To get the obvious out of the way first, If you're an educator, you can upload your video course or host a live workshop or upload one-time trainings for a rental fee. Like, there's so many options there. Okay, but if you're a creator that's just out there to entertain your audience and build community, there's so many cool things that you can do on Uscreen. You can upload exclusive behind-the-scenes vlogs. You can do members-only live streams. You could upload exclusive uncut versions of your video podcasts, or really any other kind of exclusive video content that you can imagine. I feel like this is such an opportunity to get creative. So like I was saying, you have 3 options for monetization on Uscreen. You can set up like a monthly subscription, you can upload stuff for a rental fee, and there's so many different kinds of video content that you can publish there, no matter your niche or what kind of creator you are. Uscreen also has awesome additional features like the ability to create your own white labeled TV and mobile apps, and built-in community features to help you connect more deeply with your audience. If you don't want to be dependent on ad revenue or brand deals, this is a great way to connect with your audience in a really intimate way and make some revenue doing what you do best, which is creating content. So if you want to try it out for yourself, check out the link in my description and sign up for Uscreen today. Okay, so now that I've given you some ideas and options for monetizing, whether or not you're an educator, let's talk about the specific strategies that I used to 10x my digital product sales in 2022. Okay, so the first one, like, you're gonna laugh at, but I actually started creating digital products. Okay, so hear me out. The biggest difference between 2021 and 2022 was that those digital product sales that I was showing you from 2021 were really technically services. Like, it was for Instagram audits, YouTube audits, that kind of thing. Which since then I have shifted those services over to my agency, Creatorly Media, but I used to process those sales through my own website. And I think the thing was, back then I didn't have the confidence to fully embrace selling digital products. I felt like I could only offer value through this very non-scalable, service-based way of helping people. And obviously I still think the audits are great, like my team still offers them. But in 2022, I finally came around to selling something that really helped me in terms of my efficiency, in terms of my organization, and kind of bundling that solution in a product instead of in a service. So in 2022, I really made creating digital products a priority, and I started to release new ones consistently. The second strategy that I implemented was talking about them consistently in relevant, evergreen content pieces. So I didn't just make these products and throw them up for sale on my website, or I actually have kind of done that in a couple cases, and guess what? They haven't sold that well. The ones that have sold really well are the ones that I bring up all the time in my videos and talk about them in content. Who would have thought? Over the course of the year, I've kind of built up this slow and steady passive stream of sales through the views that trickle in on those older videos, or from people just discovering the shop page on my website. But I always see a huge surge in sales when I have a YouTube video perform particularly well, where I mention the Notion content calendar or the content creator bundle or whatever. I really think it's super easy to forget to promote yourself as a content creator. We all just, want to make stuff and have a fun time and be creative, but it's also important to mention the products that you have for sale, because people aren't going to know about them. And I think we all worry about being annoying or being too salesy, but if what you've created is genuinely valuable, then it won't be like that. I think that was a big change for me when I started creating these digital products that truly came from a place of I use this Notion content calendar every single day. So I know it's going to be helpful for you if you go and buy that template. So it doesn't feel weird for me to promote it in content, because it's yeah, this is legit what I use. So you would want to use it too. So I think really believing in and being passionate about the digital products you make is also going to help you get over that hurdle of talking about them and feeling confident with promoting them. And the third strategy I used was following the numbers. As I continued to release more digital products, I've kept an eye on those analytics that I was showing you to see what's selling well, what's not selling as well, and that helped me to know what to lean into further and kind of keep making. So as you probably noticed, my Lightroom presets, they're not a really big seller. I think they're good. I use them all the time, and they're up there and they're available, but it doesn't seem to be what's most popular. And so I have 3 different Lightroom preset downloadables for sale, but I have way more Notion templates, because I noticed, oh, the Notion templates are selling really well. Why don't I make more of those? People seem to like them. So it's just really important to pay attention to what your audience is responding to and then adjusting your strategy accordingly. So here's what you can do to start implementing these strategies for yourself. Figure out what would be most valuable to your audience. If you're really at a loss for ideas around digital products, I think one method of brainstorming that can be a great way to start is by thinking about one of your favorite creators who's maybe a similar kind of creator to you or in a similar niche. Ask yourself, like, what would you love for them to offer? Like, what would you want to know about their routines, their processes, like whatever it is you like about them, like what would you want to know more about? Like maybe you want to edit photos like them. Maybe you want to like organize your closet like them. Maybe you want to cook like them. Now to bring this back to you, whatever you're wondering about your favorite creators in a similar niche to you, your audience might be wondering about you. They might want to know how to plan weekly outfits like you do, how to organize your bookshelf like you do. This will give you a starting point of what you might be able to offer. Then it's important to do a little bit of market research, reach out to your kind of like bestie followers, people that you see commenting all the time, people that you have Instagram DM conversations with. Come to them with specific ideas from that little brainstorming you just did, because I find if you reach out to people and you say, what would you like me to offer? They're gonna have a really hard time coming up with anything because that's really vague. But if you come to them and say, hey, would you find it useful if I created a guide on how to plan all of your outfits for the week in 1 hour on a Sunday night? Then they have something to say like yes or no to or give feedback to. Like maybe they would say, oh, I really like the idea of like a fashion guide, but maybe instead of planning outfits, I'd be more interested in how do you develop your personal style? You know, that's when you're gonna start to get actual valuable feedback. So coming at it from the perspective of your audience is a really great way to start to get ideas. Okay, a second approach that you can use is really thinking through if you have like a system or a habit or routine or a process that's really benefited you in some way. So like for me, for example, creating my brand partnership database has been a complete game changer in my business. I really was able to scale my brand deal revenue from 2021 to 2022 by using this database and system. So I turned that into, well, it already was a Notion template, but I made a new version of that Notion template without my personal details in it, and I included it in the content creator Notion bundle. Having that system in place was a game changer for me, so I knew it would probably be helpful for other people, and so I turned it into a digital product. So for you, maybe it's like a set of journal prompts or a collection of recipes that you use all the time or a certain workout routine. If it's made a big impact in your life, chances are it'll make a big impact in other people's lives, and that's what's going to help it sell itself, basically. Which brings us to the third tactic that you're going to want to use, which is just mentioning it often. It's going to take time. I feel like this kind of thing snowballs. Like the more often you talk about your digital products, the more like YouTube videos or Instagram posts or TikToks that you have out there where you mention it, the more opportunities you have for people to find out about it and find their way to your website. So it's kind of like a slow and steady build, but you just got to remember, like I was saying before, you got to remember to promote yourself, even though it might like feel awkward at first. But if you create a digital product that is truly based on something that has benefited you a lot, that you know is going to help other people, it's going to be a lot easier to promote it. I really believe that if you put all those three tactics into practice, you're going to see some pretty significant growth in your digital product revenue from last year to this year. So might as well start now. It's a great time to do it. If you want to learn more tactics and strategies for earning an income as a full-time content creator, then you can check out this video where I broke down my 6 income streams, including digital products, but there's obviously more in the mix too. And if you want to try creating your own video membership platform, then make sure you check out Uscreen, linked below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having adventures and following your dreams, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.